Shenequa Phipps.
Yeah. But I kept a smile because I knew God had something in store for me.
Mm-hmm.
We're
First
so
woman,
excited, yeah.
Our first female guest. Welcome to Exclusively.
Well, you have written a book, Blessings That I Almost Missed. And you're also in school. You've already graduated. How many degrees do you have?
Well, I graduated from Calhoun in 2024 with my associate degree and my certificate in child development. So I'm back in school with my bachelor's of science in psychology.
So you can read us very well.
The mental.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to tell us about ourselves.
I actually, when I went to register this year, it was for my business and bachelor's. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I got to the school, it's like God shifted my major. And he said, psychology.
What?
I'm like, psychology? I really feel because I have been through a lot mentally. Mm-hmm. And not only that, I saw my family go through some mental illness and things. Mm-hmm. And I've always read up on mental illness. And I feel like he had put me in a position to be able to help someone that's battling and they don't know how to talk to anyone. Or, you know, sometimes when we are battling mental illness, people say that you bad or, you know, you got a problem, not knowing that the whole time somebody's in a silent cry.
And some people just don't believe in it.
And they don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that. Because how do you not believe in an organ that you have inside your body? Like brain health, that's mental health. It's just like having if you have a liver issue or if you go have dialysis or heart problems, you're going to take your medicine for your heart, right? So why is the brain, the mental function, they think it's because, I'm not crazy. You're crazy if you think it doesn't exist.
Exactly. Majority of the time, that's why so many people battle anxiety and depression because when they tell you that, hey, I feel like I'm about to lose my mind, feel like I'm in a depression state, people say, no, you're too young to know about depression or anxiety. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have an age limit on it. That's why so many people are experiencing suicide because
these young kids,
they don't have anyone to really believe that they're in a silent battle and they're really crying out for help. So I say this to say Sunday, actually Saturday, it's like the enemy had me thinking that I've been through so much and I was tired. My back was against the wall. And that, hey, you don't have to put up with anything anymore. So Sunday when I got ready for church, I'm never late for church. I'm always in church on time. It's like he had me in a battle. One mind was telling me, hey, you got this. And the enemy said, hey, go right ahead. Just take your life. People don't care. People don't care. And I felt if I had been just vulnerable and weak, I would have did that. I can hear God saying that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You shall live and not die. And I forced my way to go to church because I needed to be there because I couldn't allow the enemy to win. But when you don't have control over your mind, majority of the time it doesn't work like that. That's why so many people are battling and they can't tell you because people look at me and say, you are a strong individual. You might see the outside of me being strong, but the inside some days are broken. And people don't understand that the strong need a backbone too.
And that's the thing, people say, you're so strong, you're so strong, you're so strong. It's like we all have that strength within us, but like you said, having the mental clarity to know that that's the enemy talking to you. Know that it's not of God, it's not what you should do. And having those voices, even people say, we all have voices in our head. Everybody. If you don't,
something is wrong.
Mental health is, kids, we talk about this all the time. Generational trauma starts with a child. That is when you're developing a child mentally. And that's when the mental growth, development happens. So if they're in a negative environment, if they're being told they're not, I didn't even want to have you. I wish I never had you. You're daddy, you know? And when you're telling kids that, when they're literally you're projecting onto that child because of your issues and you never took care of before you had that child. What's that child going to grow up and go through and be? Because that's what you taught it. You taught it that he wasn't worth nothing, that he was never going to amount to anything, that he was going to be just like his dad or be just like his mom, or be like just like her mom. And you wonder what's wrong with the world. You're literally giving these kids are getting mental health issues as a child. So of course they're acting out. They're not wanting to be here anymore. it's hard. Not everybody has that ability to say that the good outweighs the bad in their mind. Some of them don't even have good, don't even know how to have God or good in their mind. So then the devil wins.
Every time, because I have grandchildren, and I will never tell them that they're not battling anything if they come to me and say, hey, Granny, I'm not having a good day, or, this happened. You really have to believe a child when they say something. Mm-hmm. And even when they don't understand, you have to sit down with them and give them clarity of what they don't understand. And then we can feed kids negativity all day, every day, and we don't think they're listening. We don't think they're not taking that in. You have to be very careful with what we take into the ear gate, because the ear gate is powerful. Even with God, you have to be careful what we take in, because what we take in, sometimes we put out. Mm-hmm. And you want to pour life into people, because you don't know who's in a dead situation. You don't know who's in a dark situation. Majority of the time we smile, but on the inside, some of us be so in darkness. How do you see the light when you at the end of the tunnel? A lot of people don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
They don't believe there is a light.
They don't believe it.
They've never been taught that there is, or have hope that there can be. I don't know how people don't believe in mental health. I can't wrap my mind around that. And they can say, well, can't wrap my mind around why you think it is. So I'm not going to argue with you. The proof is in the pudding.
That's right. Mental health is real.
Yes.
Mental illness is real.
It doesn't matter what color you are, what gender you are, shape, size, social status, how much money you have in your bank account or don't have. I mean, look at the comedians. They're the funniest people, but they commit suicide all the time. They're have the darkest demons in their soul, and they're so funny on the outside. And those are the ones that really battle things.
They use comedy to live, to have fun, but when they go home at the end of the night, they go home in brokenness, in a dark place. Some on drugs.
Yeah.
Some have childhood trauma. Majority of people we see on TV, they don't live the life that they
project.
They project to live. Some of them came out of battered home, broken home, single parent home. In DHR custody.
Yeah.
And who to say now? You look at how DHR failed that little boy that was in their custody.
They don't care. I can't say DHR. I'm sorry.
They take the kids out of homes and they place them in other homes. And do they get that love from the home that you put them in, or are they being mentally or sexually abused? We don't know that. Take a child out of their home that they get love, and because the parent can't really do as much as the home you put them in, you say they are being neglected.
Exactly. And that's like kids today. You can't spank them anymore. You can. But somebody's like, I'm going to call DHR. That's the thing with, I don't like DHR. I don't like the system that's in place. I think it's broken. I don't think it's ever been, it can't really be broken because it was never
a system, really.
It's terrible. It just needs to be rebuilt completely. Mm-hmm. Yes. There are great social workers. There are bad. They're like police officers, doctors. There's good and bad in everything. But the system within. So the social worker probably one of them does hate to go and drop a kid off at a home. But it's just the system is so bad that, you could take a kid out of a single mother household where maybe she was just was tired from working 2 or 3 jobs, overslept. Maybe her kid accidentally spilled some hot water on him. This happens, and then they get taken from her and put into DHR, and they get put in homes where they're being sexually assaulted. They get put in homes where they're not being taken care of, or there's a 2-bedroom house with 10 different foster kids, and they're sharing bunk beds and not getting school clothes and not having. And that's the thing. And it's the money, because these foster families, they're getting paid by the state to have these children in their home. Are the kids, is that money actually going to the kids' new school clothes or mental health treatment or any of that, which should be that should be on the Department of Human Resources to make sure these kids are getting taken to mental health, getting the treatment that they need. But they're not.
HIPAA to an extent. I work at a doctor's office, and there are some parents that have 5 or 6 kids. 2 of them might be their biological. The other ones might be the adoptive ones or the foster ones. And you can tell.
Oh, the kids, which ones they treat a certain way?
Mm-hmm.
Eh.
You can. Not that it's terrible, but you can just tell.
When I,
But it's not like that with everybody. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? But
it's hard because it's like 1 out of 10. Because like one of
Right.
Calvin's foster families, I talk about all the time, they loved Calvin as their own and still to this day try to help. Will do whatever. Sharon will step in and do anything for him that she can to her ability without enabling him. She loves that Calvin more than any mother figure. I mean, my mom is his mother-in-law, but any mother figure, she does. They're amazing people. He had a lot of foster families. 1 out of 10.
But see, sometimes mental illness doesn't look like what people want it to look like.
Yeah.
And you can be dressed up from head to toe and be battling mental illness, and people look at you like, hey, you got it going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's doing great.
Well,
He's doing great. And I'm over here just screaming on the inside.
I mean, listen, I need to look good on the outside, y'all. It's a lot going on in here. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm like, at least you kind of decorated a little bit. At least you look good.
Because see, some people laugh through trauma.
Oh, I love it. I have to laugh. I laugh about everything.
I was going to say, I think that's one of my issues. Like, I will laugh to keep from crying because I don't like to cry.
I just like to make a joke about it so I don't feel like it's that serious.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could cut my leg off. I'm like, well, I didn't need that anyway.
It's okay.
I do that, yeah.
And you do that because a lot of people have learned how to survive and not heal. That's why we laugh through trauma. And, because we don't want people to see the grief, the hurt, the brokenness, the anxiety. But then when we go home, we smile in public, but then we go home, we might hit a wall or kick a stump or hit a tree. Or
What was you doing back in the day?
Those are pretty specific.
I need to know some stories here
Because what you see on the outside doesn't always look like what the inside looks like. Because you see me smiling, it was days I smile and go home and I'm like, oh God, I'm done. I can't do it. And my back is against the wall. But then when I go out in public, I got the biggest smile on my face. But actually my smile is genuine. I've always smiled through my brokenness, through my hurt, through my pain, through my trauma, through abuse. I smile because I knew that was greater for me. And I couldn't let the enemy get me into a place where if I lose my smile, I feel like I have lost everything because my smile made me who I were. People knew me from my smile. So I had to smile even when I was hurt, even when I was destroyed, brokenness. But I kept a smile because I knew God had something in store for me. And the enemy always wanted to take my smile, the image that God had given me. He wanted to always take this. And I had to learn how to smile through everything. And people would say, how do you smile? And I've been through so much. Because my smile is the reason my life changed. I was able to smile through everything. When I wanted to give up, I smile. When I wanted to take how can you just smile and you're just going through so much hell? Well, it's something about having a smile even in the midst of hell. God sees, God hears. So if I can smile through adversity, I know he has something for me. So we got to know that it's okay to be broken. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not having a good day. I'm going through. I need someone to talk to. You got to be honest with yourself. I smile. Back in the day, I smiled, but I was broken. I smile today, but I'm healed. It's a difference. Through my brokenness, I was able to smile, but through my healing, I'm able to smile, love, laugh, and even encourage now.
Write books.
Yeah, write books.
Yes.
Not only one book, but through my trauma and my hurt and my pain, I wrote 15 books. Not knowing that I took my pain to the pad and pen and the paper. And I decided to go through my file cabinet. And I was going to throw everything away. And one day I was sitting at home and my husband said, you need to do something with all this stuff. And my first cousin is a minister. And she called me one day and she said, God showed me a bunch of books, a bunch of plays. I knew that was my confirmation. I had written plays and books and everything. So for our church play, I wrote our Christmas play. I wrote our Easter play.
Oh, wow.
And I started getting all the books together, had 15 books. And I put a message on social media. I said, can anyone put me in the direction of a publisher? Because God said, it's time. This is your season to release what you have written. This is going to help other women, other people, other families. And I had reached out to so many people, and one lady, my publisher, she reached out in due season because God said I was in my due season. And when she reached out to me, and her publishing company was in due season,
That's crazy.
I said, this is my confirmation. So when I sent her all the first book, she said, wow. And she said, how many books do you have? I said, 15. So I sent her 2 or 3 more, and she had, so we haven't did anything yet because I wanted to get that book up and off the ground. But I had babies on the inside of me that I needed to be birthed out. And God said, I'm going to send you midwives in this season because everything that you have been in labor with, you're getting ready to birth out in this season. So my books, I'm birthing those books. Crown and Call Mentorship for Girls, I'm birthing that. The Believe to Achieve nonprofit, I'm birthing that. Because everything that I'm birthing, I went through it. I wanted to know my worth. I had to learn who I was and whose I was. I was looking for a father, being honest. I was dating guys who I thought loved me, but I was a young girl searching for a father. So I took so much. So even with one of my books that I have, The Little Girl Searching for a Father, that's one of them. You miss birthdays, you miss holidays, standing in the window, just waiting to see you pull up. Yeah. But I still built a relationship with my father. You know, I did. And I didn't hate him for it. I just wanted to know why.
That's what people say, your parents, it's their first time here also. And if they have unresolved issues with themselves, or he could have been searching for something that he never had, that he couldn't give you the best life possible. And it's not okay to just walk away from your children. And I think that sometimes about my niece and nephew's dad. And I'm like, well, it's probably best he isn't in their life because of his situation. But it's just unfortunate, you know, that kids do get brought into the world before the parents are healed. But that doesn't mean you're not meant to be here. Exactly. And to be able to forgive someone, like, because we're supposed to forgive. We're not greater than God. If he can forgive us for the stuff we do daily after what he gave to us, who are we to say that we're greater than him, that we have to hold a grudge? Just like smiling. It takes more energy to be mad. Anger takes so much more out of you to be so angry at the world or at someone. If you can be disappointed, but you got to remember, like, you're in control of your emotions. You're in control of your path to an extent. I mean, God gives us free will to make those choices for ourselves. So if you want to be like, well, he did this to me, or she did this to me, or they did this to me, and that's what your life's going to be. It's going to continue to be something that somebody else did to you, and then you're never going to be able to be in your purpose. And writing, I love to write, and it's like taking your pain and turning it into purpose, because God's not going to take us. He is close to the brokenhearted. He is we're only here for him. We're not here for boyfriends, girlfriends, jewelry, Instagram. That's not why we're here at all. We're here for his purpose, for him. He made us, and he definitely didn't make us be out here acting like some heathens.
That's right.
So it's just, if you want to be angry with everybody in the whole world, everybody's ever done you wrong, you're literally only hurting yourself. Because if I was mad at everybody that's did me wrong in life, you think that they're sitting at home thinking about that?
They are not thinking
They're
about
probably
it.
they probably forgave everybody that ever hurt them, and they are living the life that God intended for them to live. Well, I'm over here like, well, he did that to me. He did that to me. She did that to me. Well, guess what?
That would make us probably mad at every person we've ever met.
And there's people like that.
Yeah.
There's people that cannot stand to look at you. They hate people because of the color of their skin, and they hate people because of hate politics. Honestly, really, they just hate themselves. They do. They're so dark and deep, and in this place of it's literally just lack of light, lack of anything positive. They're literally Eeyores out here. They everything complain about. They'll find a problem in anything except for self-discovery.
That's right. Because people are pretending. We're living in a world now where people are pretending. We constantly have to put up an image daily.
For who?
For everybody but ourselves and God. I mean, there's no way that we should walk around 7 days a week being something that we was not created to be, just to please other people. I've never been a people pleaser, so it breaks me to see people. You love people more than you love yourself. No. You gotta love you before you can love anybody.
Yeah, you'll have an empty cup.
You constantly pouring from an empty cup, or you're an empty vessel, and then you ask yourself, who's gonna pour into my cup? Who's gonna fill me when I'm empty? Who's gonna have me when my back is against the wall? See, we don't take the time out. We don't think about a lot of that as women. We tote a lot as women. We tote a lot of burdens, not just our burdens, but other people's burdens, because we are actually strong women. Women are very strong. Whether you white, black, blue, or brown, women are very strong. That's why we can endure so much and not break at that moment.
But women hate each other so much. So much.
Some women hate themselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they do.
And they hate to see
they project.
You or me when we all can get together and build as one. Women could be so powerful if we can get together, collaborate, and work together. But because jealousy and envy enters the room, you can't. That's not how we should be as women.
You're never going to get anywhere in life like that. No. And I have such a difficult time having relationships with women because they just,
but they can jealousy. Look at you. They'll be, I'm here for you if you ever need to talk.
Yeah, because they want to know what you're going through.
Yeah, I don't think
to
you're
have something
doing
to
this
talk
for the right
about.
Reasons. Yeah.
I told you she's this. I told you she's that. You know, I have to remind people, I'm a work in process.
Oh, we all are.
I know God, and God changed my entire life. But I'm never going to tell somebody because God changed my life that you can run over me.
Oh, absolutely not.
And you can say what you want to say to me, because the first thing people say is, "Oh, I thought she was a Christian." I am.
That's a great line right there. I thought, oh my God, that's my. Woo.
I thought she was. I thought she knew God. I do.
You lead ministry at your church, don't you?
I do.
I need to come up there because I love that. Well, she's supposed to be a child of God. Well, she ain't worried about you. Yeah. I'm over here where my salvation is between me and the Lord.
Yes.
Don't worry about what somebody else's relationship with God is.
But I tell people, even Jesus had to flip the table.
I will flip the table. Oh, I will. I haven't flipped the table in a long time.
See, people tends to take your Christianity and your relationship with God, they take it the way they want to take it because you change. And sometimes when you change, people use that as manipulation.
Yeah.
To do what they want to do to you, to say what they want to say. And then when you say something, you're the bad person.
They're just waiting on it.
They waiting on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They waiting on your character to change.
And that's crazy. If you're sitting there waiting on me, you're going to be waiting forever.
Forever.
Because my characters always remain the same. I will flip a table and then and I will flip a table. I don't want to do that. I'm calmer now.
I haven't seen that side of her.
No, because I literally, it all got out so young that I am so calm. And that's why when I was writing my story and I speak about my story and, you know, the domestic violence part of it, somebody had asked me to speak out on domestic violence. And I was like, that's not my experience. Because I hit him. He hit me. And he never, before he ever hit me. That's the thing. I'm like, I would sit here and tell something on somebody. I'm going to tell my truth. Am I ashamed that at 19 I had to smack you? And the people are like, well, no, it doesn't matter if it's the woman hitting a guy hitting a woman. It's the same difference. Don't put your hands on somebody. So that's the thing. Like, I didn't go through a domestic violence situation as people want it to be. I would be mad and we would be throwing stuff at each other equally. He could come in the door. I'm going to throw something at you when you walk through that door because I'm mad. And I had to learn that, like, I could not, I was literally getting my hurt and my pain out and violence myself. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I went through a domestic violence situation, because that's not the case for my story.
But here's the thing with the generation of young women now. Domestic violence is real because I survived domestic violence. But I wasn't the villain. I was the victim. I was the victim. But even though I went through domestic violence, it didn't even make me bitter. It made me better.
Yep.
But you have women now, they be the villains but play the victim.
Oh, yeah.
And they make a man look so bad. But I was always taught, just like you said, if you don't want to be hit, don't hit anybody else. Men are not always the abusers.
Exactly.
You have women that abuse men as well, but because they are men, people don't believe that men get abused, or mentally or verbally or physically. But 50% of women, they do things and then they have a victim mentality.
I hate a victim mentality.
And the whole time they are the villains. They make you look bad to keep everything off of them. I don't like that.
Exactly.
And the reason why I say that, because when real domestic violence survivors or somebody that's battling domestic violence really say that they are being abused, people don't believe it, because now only thing a woman have to do is say, well, he's abusing me, or I've been through this. And then a man go to jail.
Exactly.
But a woman would not go when they're more of the abuser than
I know
a man is.
That they're protecting themselves or something else happened. Yeah.
That's exactly the thing with the whole, like, I'm like, okay, no, was there things that have like violence and stuff, like, especially when drugs are involved, it can get crazy. But as far, I know domestic violence situations are real. So I don't have the story I don't have that story to talk about that. And when I say like domestic, us hitting, I was 19, and I found out he cheated on me. And so I smacked him a couple times. But that's how I would get. It's like, because you're not listening to me. Like, why are you cheating on me? Don't cheat on me. Like, I'm like, you don't hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. So let me make you feel it. And that's when I hit him. And then I realized, like, what is that? You shouldn't use violence. I had to learn how to really control my emotions and not do that. So even when, drugs had gotten involved and stuff, we used to throw stuff at each other. And it's not okay. But it's like, I'm not going to sit here and paint this man to be what you want me to paint him to be, because I'm white and he's black and now he's on drugs. Our story is not the story you might think it is or you want it to be. So no, domestic violence really does happen. There are situations, men and women. I don't have the story to speak on it, so I'm not going to. Nobody believes anybody anymore. And women think they can get away with everything. I can't stand somebody with a victim mentality.
It does something to me as a woman to see women, you're really not going through domestic. And a lot of people love attention.
Exactly.
Attention seekers. And when you are looking for attention, sometimes you get attention from the wrong people. Or you get attention from someone that's ready to destroy the life of other people. And then, even with social media, I use Facebook for my business and different things like that. But social media can be so draining, because just like you said, 100 and some people will share a mugshot or someone getting killed or someone on drugs. But, graduate from school or get a new house or a new car, or you're better in your life. No one wants to share. No one wants to. But as soon as some negative hits social media,
they're just trying
everyone
to put it in
it.
our face.
Yeah.
Who do they think they are?
Like, you want to sit here and comment, on my ex-husband's mugshot, but y'all won't go tag Prego spaghetti sauce in a video, so they'll donate some spaghetti sauce to the Downtown Rescue Mission. Y'all quick to comment about how amazing and I'm praying for you and all this, like we talked about earlier. I don't know if I actually want you to pray for me, because our gods may not be the same gods.
That's right.
And there's only one true God, but the Bible says, do not put any other idols or gods before me.
That's right.
I don't know who you're praying to. So, and the thing is, faith without works is dead. My favorite thing. Look, Calvinists always say, nothing is impossible with God. Or is that how it goes? Nothing is impossible without. And I'm like, well, yeah, but faith without works is dead. God is giving you the possibilities. He might provide that bottle of water over there. He's not going to sit here. He's not going to bring it to you. It's not going to float over here in the air. You got to get up and go get it, or you're going to sit here and you're going to be so thirsty and dehydrated, and you're going to blame God because, well, I'm just so thirsty and dehydrated. I don't have the energy to go get the bottle of water. God, you did nothing for me.
Let's see. That's I was gonna mention that something. I forgot what chapter it was in your book. You said blessings come in silence and not noise.
And see, the thing is,
You passed it to her.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We're all constricted
I
over
think
here.
I wrote it down actually on those papers. I can't remember. We do sometimes. We'll sit here and be like, "Oh, well, I prayed so hard for this. I've been waiting. Why?" I get told if I pray to God,
That's like the people waiting for my character to break.
But really, my blessing could be way over there, and I'm just sitting here
and you
waiting
sitting
on
here
it.
waiting.
Yeah.
And see, here is the thing, and it's funny you said that because I've never been on a plane. Everybody in my family have, but me. That's been my biggest fear.
Don't look at me.
That's been my biggest fear. Getting on a plane.
Mm-hmm. As it should be.
And
Whoa.
I hate a plane.
and I prayed. And I said, God, I need you to do something. I want to go higher. Mm-hmm. I want more. And I heard God say, how can I take you higher when you are afraid to fly?
It's like, ouch.
I got chills.
And I said, wow. And he said it again. He said, how can you go higher when you are afraid to fly? And God was telling me that you're going to be among nations. But in order for you to be among nations, and you're going to have to fly.
I know, God. Well, but that's what they got, Zoom. Zoom.
And I went and got, believe it or not, I heard him one Sunday. That Monday, I went to the DMV, and I got my Star ID. That Tuesday, I went and got filled out for my passport. I had to be obedient, very much obedient. And he said, you want to go places? It's not Athens. A prophet has no honor in his own town.
Talk to him. Look at your neighbor.
You're not going to be honored here. Because people are going to always look at where you come from, the things you used to do. Not where I'm taking you to, but they're going to look at your back, your life. What God has for me is on a different level, a whole different level of life. And it's not here, higher. God, I'm an eagle. I'm not a chicken. And it's hard for me to stay on ground.
We ain't no ducks over here.
Yeah. So that sometimes you hear God and you're silent. See, when we're moving around, you don't hear God because we're busy. We work. We're maybe at the store, grocery store, shopping. You don't hear God. But it's in your midnight when you're in the bed or you relax. That's when you start hearing God and seeing God, because he said, I got you exactly where I want you. I got you in a still place. And sometimes we just have to be still in order to see what God has for us. We have to be silent, because sometimes our blessing is right there in the midst of our silence. And because we talk or we move so quick, we just miss that blessing. God says, stand still and know I am God. We want to always have our hands in the midst of everything, but the whole time we're covered. The whole time we got the blessing be so big, and because we don't see it, we don't understand how big the blessing is. We look for the big things.
Yeah.
But if we just take the small things that he give us, that's how we receive all the big things. But you got to be willing to accept the small things. Because if he knows that he can trust you with the small things.
Yeah, he knows what you can handle.
He knows what you can handle. Because I feel like everything that I'm getting now, if he had gave it to me back then,
Oh, I know.
he knew I would have mishandled everything God had given me.
It's hard to see when you're in it, but then when you come out of it, you're like, "What?" You look at that like, "Well, if it went my way, I would not be living in my purpose." And also, if it went my way, God sees the blueprint. And I wasn't meant to be on a real estate sign in the front yard. Nothing wrong with it. But at one point in time, I just knew when I gave up my dreams of being, in Hollywood on Disney Channel, all that when I was younger. I was like, okay, well, I was going to go get my real estate license. I do love homes, but I was going to go get my real estate license. And at one point, honestly, I was like, because I'm going to tell my whole truth. It's going to sound crazy, but it is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm going to tell y'all, at one point, I had went through so much like cheating and all this and all that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get my real estate license. So then you're driving down the road. You're going to see me on that real estate sign in the front yard somewhere. And I was doing it for the wrong reasons.
You didn't care about real estate.
I didn't. I just wanted to be. I wanted you to wake up in the morning, look at your neighbor's house that no longer lives there and has the for sale sign in the front yard, and it's me. And you can think about all the wrong things you did to me, and hopefully call me because you miss me, just so you can keep doing more wrong things to me, and accept that because I was getting validated. I was at least saying I felt wanted. But what quality is to be wanted by a worldly man? And not even caring how your father feels with the everlasting love, the eternity. It's just like, well, you're not here, you're not tangible. We don't think God is tangible because it's a feeling. But those feelings of wanting validation from a man, is that tangible? Because what? He might come sleep with you and make you feel wanted for a couple minutes.
And then he'd go about his business.
Exactly. And then you're tore up again. Yeah. And you got to go sell another house. So I know, I was like, I waited until I got to this point in my life. And I was like, you know what? When I finally started doing this and wrote my story, it was so weird because at that moment, I no longer even thought about anything that had ever happened to me. I no longer my validation was coming from my purpose. And it felt so full. I didn't feel a void. I didn't think about my exes. I didn't think about any of that. But it was so foreign. It was like, wow, like I don't want to be seen. I don't care to be seen. You can take my face out of it, but put my voice in it because I have something to say. And God knew the whole time that I didn't need to be down there in the lawn because he wants me up here. Like he has such a bigger plan.
Your vision is bigger.
Yeah, it's like I would have settled for that sign in the front yard somewhere that my ex maybe never even went down that road. I don't, and he's like, that's not why I have you here. That's not what I want you for. Like the voice is what matters. I don't care to be seen. I don't care if you like my photo. I don't care about any of that. Like God will remove you and he can take anybody from my life because I'll do anything he needs me to do. Ultimately, I don't want to be in the woods sleeping for 40 days and 40 nights.
Listen, we wait on everybody. We wait on everybody but God. We trust everybody but God.
Exactly.
And I tell a lot of people, I said when we have events and things, I don't collaborate with a lot of people. I don't connect with a lot of people. I think the reason is because I'm too real for a lot of people. You can't come to me with the extra.
Yeah.
And not only that, if you never have to put my face on a flyer or anything. It's not about being seen. It's about being heard.
Exactly.
I want you to know my story without even seeing my face. Because see, if you see my face, first thing people say, no, not you. Yeah, me. Why not me? Because they're looking at the outer beauty. But the inner is what can tell you a full book of my life. My books didn't come from my outer. It came from the inner brokenness, the hurt, the crying, the pain. Because if you look at my outer appearance, there's no way I should have this book. The blessings I almost missed, the blessings in disguise, the little girl searching for a father. You know, back to back, everything was trauma, life.
Was it hard for you not to blame anybody? To get to that point? Maybe you did. You say you did blame your father, your dad, previously.
I did. And here is the thing. My mom was always there. And as a kid or a child, you don't understand. My mom caught a lot of anger from me because I always thought it was her.
Yeah.
Or maybe you did something, or, you know, but it never was my mom. Never. My mom was the best mom a little girl can have. And as I got older, going into my teenage years, and I began to start dating, I wanted to be in control of my own life. And I got to a point where nobody can tell me anything. Yeah, somebody can tell you something.
Yeah, they can.
You're never too old for somebody to tell you about life. I always tell people, don't ever put my life on my mom. The mistakes I made in my life, they didn't come from my mom. My mom was mom. I made those mistakes. If it had been from my mom, I would have never made those mistakes. You know, you hear people say, well, probably your household. No, you'll never put my life on my mom because my mom is still mom and I'm grown. To this day, I have the best mom that a woman could ask for. I tell people what I went through in my life wasn't for me. It was for the next young girl that experienced being a young mother, having to quit school, take care.
You're making me cry.
Take care of
sorry.
kids.
I'm just kind of relating to you in some of these.
Take care of kids. I was a young mother.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's fine. I was a young mother. I gave up my entire life for my children. I had no life. My kids made me not only a mom, but a woman at a young age. I gave up everything.
You have 2 boys and a girl?
2 boys and a girl. 30, 29, 31, 29.
About to be 30, isn't he, on May 20th?
31, 29, and 28. And 6 grandbabies. My kids made me who I am today. I wouldn't give them back for nothing. But just think about a young girl in school. I ran track. I gave my whole life away.
Your sport?
Yeah. I did it all. You know, I just look at it like, well, God, my whole life is gone.
Yeah.
When the other girls was out enjoying life, I was at home warming up bottles and changing Pampers. And I was a mother, young. And then I had to quit school. It broke me. It broke me down. I went back to school in 2022. And God reminded me of Jeremiah 29:11. Those was your plans, not the plans that I have for you. Those was your plans. And when I went back to school, I got my high school diploma. Not my GED, I went back and got my diploma. Turned around, I went and got my business diploma. Turned around, I went to Calhoun. I didn't stop. I kept going.
You're still going.
Still going. And the president of Calhoun College stood me in front of everybody. I was on the dean's list.
You got the honors. You had a 3.8 GPA?
3.8 GPA, honor society. He stood me up at the meeting. He said, this lady right here is going somewhere. He said, do y'all not know this lady has grandbabies and kids and was still determined to come back and get her life? That's why I tell people, your life is what you want. But what God has for you is totally different.
Prime example of the timeline.
Yes.
Is there really a time? You know, society's timeline. It's not.
It's not. It's different from God's.
Yeah, it's the only one that matters.
Yeah. I was determined. And I had made it up in my mind one day. I said, God, I'm going back and get what I gave the enemy. The enemy didn't take my life. I gave it to him. And I didn't stop. And I wanted my kids to know that I was more determined now than I was then, because my focus wasn't on school. My focus was on feeding 3 young kids and being a single mother until I got with my husband. I've been with my husband 24 years. We've been married 15.
Wow.
I did not know how long y'all had been
I
married.
have no kids by my husband, but my husband raised all my kids as his own. And when I got with my husband, as we was dating, I told him, my children and I come as a package. We don't separate.
You should never put a man over your children.
And they come first. And that's what made me love my husband, because my husband put my kids before he did me.
That's a real man.
Real
right
man.
there.
And
That's a real man.
And he still do that. But I tell people, you can go back and get what you messed up. It's never too late. That's why I said what I said about Calvin. Those are his plans, not God's. And you know, being young, I don't know if you was young and had kids.
No, I don't think I was as young as you. I was 20.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, mine was a little different than your situation, but I'm a single mother now, so that's kind of
and it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts, but guess what? It builds you. It gives you a foundation that you can stand on a foundation and say, "Hey, I did this. I'm doing this," because your foundation is the Word, and as long as you stand on the Word of God, you're gonna always have a solid foundation. So when you say I'm a single parent, no, you got a father. They have a father. And even when it get hard at night, in the day, you look up and say, whew, I know you see me. I know you hear me.
Yeah.
God, I know you're right here.
And that's what you, within saying like the blessings that you almost miss. And that's in having the hard days with your babies or your children. And you're just like, God, I can't wait till you're 18. But it's just like, you know, it might be a long, hard day. But sometimes you have to sit in those blessings of watching them do something for the first time or learn or having, I talk about a lot as core memories, like creating core memories for children. Because that, they're going to remember. It was something you think is just so silly or it's a blessing that you're missing out on because you're taking it as it's this big, but to them it's this big. It's letting them stir the food, letting them cook or
make a little mess in the kitchen.
Yeah, letting them, I mean, I know they don't do this kids at home, but I don't mind in my apartment. We can jump on the sofa. We can do whatever we want.
Keep in mind, these are my kids she's letting do this, so they will bring that home.
But I said, don't do this at anybody else's house. This is different over here. It's different. We can jump on the sofa. If that's good, don't get hurt. But yeah, we can dance. We can dance on the sofa, and we can do all that. Don't go to your grandmother's house and do that, and don't tell them I told you to do it. But it's like core memories like that of like this. So yeah, I get it. People spend good money on their furniture and stuff like that. Baby, I'm telling you, that money's going to go. That furniture, you're not going to have it in 30 years. But that child's going to have that memory of being able to enjoy just being a child. And that's what gets taken away from children so much these days. Nala was asking me, her daughter was asking me last night how she should, like, well, it was a song. She played 7 Years Old by Lucas Graham. And I was crying. I was like, there, I was like, she said, it's not sad. Why do you think this is sad? I said, you're going to realize, you don't know why it's sad right now. But the older you get, you will eventually understand why it's sad. But please just be in this moment of not having to know. Be a kid for as long as you can be a kid. Be innocent for as long as you can be innocent. And just every day, I mean, and it is, I know it's hard. I see you do it every day. But you blame yourself so much. You feel like you're not a good mother and you are an amazing mother. They have a roof over their head. They have clothes on their back. Her morning routine for work and school.
There's not one.
No, but it is though. It's like, it doesn't have to look like, eggs and the whole spread they have on TV. Nobody has time for that. And they never touch it.
Don't.
My son wants some green Pringles on the road.
Exactly. Those green Pringles are going to be a staple in his life forever. So your timeline, your routine, That might not be what society paints it to be on television or in a magazine or on somebody's 30-second or highlight reel.
Can I tell you something? And it's funny you said that you was a single mom, because I always keep this in my phone, in my notes, and I need you to listen to this.
Okay, good grief.
It says, to the single mom who is doing everything she can, even when it feels like it's not enough. I want you to know something. God sees you. He sees the early mornings when you're exhausted, but still getting up. He sees the night you stay up worrying about bills, school, food, and the future. He sees the moment you cry in silence because you don't want your child to see your pain. He sees every sacrifice you make that nobody claps for. Being a single mom can feel lonely. Sometimes like you're carrying the world on your back with no brakes and no backup. But the truth is, you are stronger than what you feel in this moment. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is simple, showing up again and again and again when everything in you wants to give up. And even on the days you feel like you're falling, you are still showing love, protection, and effort. Your child or your children doesn't need a perfect mom. They need a present one. And your presence, your love, and your effort matters more than you realize. God always has a special way of covering what you can't do. Where you feel, he makes up the difference. Where you feel tired, he gives you grace. Where you feel unsure, he gives you direction step by step. Not always all at once. You're not behind, you're not forgotten. You're not alone in this. And even when it hurts, it feels like nobody sees your struggle, God does. And he is strengthening you in more ways than you know. You can't always say, see right now. Keep going, not because it's easy, but because the story is still being written. And the season is not the end of you, it's shaping you.
Oh, wow. I love that.
I keep that because as a single mother, one time in my life, I needed those encouragements. Mm-hmm. So I give that to single mothers every time I speak with them. Because I know your battles, I know your hurt, I know your struggles. I know at night you get to yourself and you be like, I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. I don't want my kids to go through. I went through that.
Yeah.
So let me encourage you from a single mother to from a woman that's married, but I was a single mother for a long time. And it made me who I am, my strength, relying on God in my weakness. So you are more than enough.
Been a single mother for like a year and a half, so I know it.
Not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
I lost myself loving everyone but myself.
I'm trying to beat God's clock.
Sometimes what we're praying for is already there.
And I went up to Ohio to Cincinnati, and I stayed. And I'm used to being by myself, even in different places far away. Called her. I said, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna come back home, and all that. It's about the time that you have with the ones you love.
So let me ask you, ladies, if I can ask you,